10 years from now, $3,000 a month is not that much. In 20 years from now, $3,000 a month will probably be very little. And so what happens is the money gets cheap, assets go higher, inflation destroys debt. So the question I would ask you, question I'd ask yourself is, why are you here? If the people that get the money first are the banks and they buy assets and they have the benefit, then why don't we partner with the banks to get the money first and buy the assets? The reason why is nobody's ever thought about it like that. You've been stuck playing the wrong game. So what I'm saying is I can just go to the bank. And what do the banks do? The banks create money. How do they create money? By issuing debt. So every time they create debt, money's created. But who do they issue debt to? People like you and I. As a matter of fact, every one of you watching this has debt. The problem is most of you use debt for the wrong uses. You use debt on your credit card to buy the vacation. You use debt to go buy a car that's going to lose value. You use debt to buy a new wardrobe. You use debt to do whatever. And so for you, debt is very dangerous. And for you, you're like, oh my gosh, that sounds dangerous. What if I can't pay the debt? But what the wealthy do at the top of the Cantillon effect is they use the cheap money when it goes on sale to buy assets that go up in value. But what if they can't make the payment? What do you mean not make the payment? They have the asset. They didn't spend it on frivolous vacations and wardrobes. They bought the asset. So they have the money. Now, I know for most people, this seems completely foreign. But the fact is, whoever's closest to the money gets the first benefit. And who's closer to the money? The person that is there upon origination, when the debt gets issued. Now, I know that sounds dangerous. So let's talk about this for a second. As I said, number one, when I use debt for the asset, then I have the money. But what if the tenants don't pay the payment? What if the market crashes and the valuation of the home goes down? What if all these bad things that could potentially happen? So what you're saying is there's potential risks. So what we can do is we can name each one of those, and then we can learn to mitigate on each one of those. How do we do that? We do that using what I call the 4 layers of liquidity. Now, cash, most people think money or cash or savings in the bank is liquidity. Now, money, cash, savings is liquidity, but liquidity is not cash. They're not the same thing. You hear me talk a lot about the macroeconomics environment. We talk about the global liquidity. And as the global liquidity goes up, then we see asset prices rising, right? Bitcoin is very sensitive to global liquidity. Now, global liquidity is not just global M2. It's not just the money in the world. It's the money, but it's also the credit and the ability to create more money, because money is created through debt issuance. So liquidity, cash is liquidity. Liquidity is not cash. So it's the ability to get it. So for example, let me break this down. In layer 1, I want to